Hey guys, what's going on? It's SpotTheOzzie here with a brand new Motorsport Manager video, except today it's a little bit different because right in front of us, as you can see, is the official Ferrari from Formula 1. Or at least the skin that looks like it, because RaceDepartment.com has released a mod, an F1 mod for Motorsport Manager, which completes the package of having like an F1 Motorsport Manager game. As you can see right before us is the Scuderia Ferrari, we have the Mercedes Petronas, we have the Red Bull Racing, Williams Martini, McLaren Honda, Force India, Toro Rosso, Renault, Haas, and the Sauber F1 team. And they've also updated everything else behind that, which is the driver names, their traits, the race mechanics, everything you can possibly think of this mod has. But right now I actually want to do an expedition race for you guys at Abu Dhabi, and I'm gonna go as Mercedes GP, but instead this time I'm gonna start us at the back of the grid. I'm gonna start us right at the back to see if we can fight our way from the back to the front. It's gonna be dynamic weather, safety cars are gonna be on, all your typical shabam. There is no refueling in F1, there is in GP2, so you can do that in the other mods as well. If you're digging the fact that we're going to be doing a F1 mod video, give this video a thumbs up and be sure to hit that subscribe button for more content for Motorsport Manager. I'm actually going to be doing a game giveaway of Motorsport Manager thanks to the good people at Play Motorsport in the next week or two. Daniel Kvyat on pole, Esteban Gutierrez on second, Sebastian Vettel third, Daniel Ricciardo was fourth, Valtteri Bottas is fifth, Kimi Raikkonen is sixth, Verstappen is seventh, Perez is eighth, Alonso is ninth, Nico Hülkenberg is 10th, Carlos Sainz is 11th, 12th is Felipe Massa. On the 7th row is Jenson Button with Romain Grosjean. We've got Kevin Magnussen, the young Kevin Magnussen with Marcus Ericsson, Julian Palmer with Felipe Nasser, and at the end of the grid is of course Nico Rosberg starting at 19th, and 20th spot is Lewis Hamilton. So it's going to be our fight to try to get them up to the point end of the field as possible. So here's the lights, 3 red lights, 2 red lights, 5 red lights, and now we're going to be going green at Abu Dhabi for our 28 lap race. I'm just going to have a look at the weather forecast, and it's going to be sunshine and a little bit of cloud to come. We haven't made any positions up off the front of the first lap, but no, all of a sudden we do. Hamilton moves up into 18th position. He goes past Julian Palmer. Nico Rosberg wants to do the same move. Can he do it? He goes around the outside, but he gets defended upon that position. No, he actually goes through on the sweeper and is able to hold in that track position and make up the spot. He's following Hamilton up through the field, and now we have a bit of a Sauber sandwich between our two Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton now drops, he's back into 16th. He overtakes Ericsson. So all of a sudden we're flying through the field, but I want to look at those tyre temperatures, because the minute they start to perk up a little bit, we're going to put them down into a neutral setting. We also don't want to have any team orders this race. We're not going to set any team orders. They can race as they like. Of course, we can adjust that if we want to at the end of the race, if their strategies are going to block each other out, depending upon where they are on the track and the track position they have. But Hamilton's fighting all the way through, and like I said, Daniel Kvyat is kind of at the front. He's actually got a long lead over Sebastian Vettel. He's leading him in the first lap. Then Kimi Raikkonen. So Ferrari's already out in the top 3 with both cars up there. Max Verstappen, Gutierrez, Bottas in 7th, Sainz in 8th, Alonso, Grosjean, Massa, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg. So Ricciardo's really come back in the field. For someone who started in the first 5 cars, he's really had a bad start, kind of like a typical Mark Webber Aussie Larrikin style. Nico Rosberg has locked up, just coming over the comms there, which means he loses 20% tyre tread for that happening. And as you can see, his tyre tread is now down to 75% when it would have been 95%. And that means we're going to have to adjust our pitch strategy a little bit, maybe potentially bring him in a little bit earlier than what we wanted to. But so far so good. Hamilton's fighting his way through the field. He's doing quite a good job in it. Everyone else still doing a good job in regards to where we are. The pack is still feeling their way out, and Vettel, as soon as he gets past Kvyat, look at that gap. It's up to 3.3 seconds already. That's what I mean. He's obviously got the pace. Hamilton's in 12th. He's defending now from Grosjean, who seems to have followed us all the way up from the last on the grid, but he's now getting away a little bit. And Nico Rosberg just overtook Kevin Magnussen for 14th position. So it's a good race so far. We want to watch that gap. Look at that gap. It's up to 5 seconds now. And it's now Vettel and Raikkonen. So the Ferrari boys are able to jump ahead and being able to force that gap right from the get-go. There goes Lewis Hamilton, makes another spot under Nico Rosberg, under brakes. He's the braking master, the last of the late breakers, if that's what you want to call him. Julian Palmer's now locked up on the feed, or on the commentary feed, as you can see. Nico Rosberg is now defending 13th from Roman Grosjean. So we're making good progress. The other thing to note is, we are the only car, Hamilton that is the only car out there that seems to be on medium compounds other than Perez, where a lot of the other guys have gone on soft, so they're going to have to stop a lot earlier. That includes Nico Rosberg, who not only has to stop early because he's on a softer compound, but he's locked up at some stage, and his tyres become a bit of a 50-cent piece, and it's going to be a little bit harder to drive on. But I'm watching those temperatures, and they're starting to rise a little bit higher than what I wanted, so we're going to go down into a driving style of conserve mode, and that is to get the temperatures down, because as the temperatures skyrocket and they're too high, you still get the boost out of the tyres performance-wise, but they start to wear and tear a lot faster, and we want to kind of back away from that a little bit. Now Hamilton up until 11th. Who is he following? He's following Massa. He's got a 1 second gap. Is he catching him? Well, visually we can see that he's probably catching him right now. He's down. He's just got that gap down under a second, as you can see in that highlighted line. It's about 1 second. Can he gas it up and catch him a little bit here? He's got it down to 0.9. He seems to not like the corners as much. He seems to be able to gain him on the straights, but when it comes to the corners, Massa seems to be able to pull that a little bit more out of the car. Let's have a look at his strategy. What is Massa's strategy? His driving style is actually berserker. He's in an attacking style right now, while we're just trying to play conservative. We want to stick to our strategy. And what's the gap? We've got a 6 second gap between Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen, so that is huge. That is a huge gap to already start with, and no crashes so far in this race, which is good to hear. Unfortunately, we want to make it. If there's going to be a crash, it's going to be to our advantage, of course. So let's have a look. How are we going with fuel? We're now on to lap 5, so we've still got 24 laps to go. Nico Rosberg just completes his fastest time then of the race with a 2:04. With a 2:03 being the fastest last lap, and that was by Sebastian Vettel in first. Hamilton now sneaking up on Massa and makes the move stick, and Rosberg now catching up. He doesn't want to get Hamilton out of his sights, He doesn't want Hamilton getting that far ahead. This is for the World Championship. Just imagine if it was for the World Championship and both had to start in the back of the grid. That would have been really cool, like a reverse grid last race. So this is this is going to be pretty tight to see them duke this out a little bit. And we might even have to flick to a more conservative strategy for these two with their tyres. Fuel-wise, I'm thinking they're going to be okay. Let's just see. Let's just let them push a little bit here now. See if Rosberg can get by and maybe put a little bit of pressure on Hamilton. And I want to watch. I want to hit that tab button and watch. Ooh, he's around the outside. Can he make it stick? No. Massa holds him out. Massa's on the hard tyres, so he's going to be able to go the furthest of anyone inside that top 12 cars. Although at the moment he seems to have rubbed up his tyres, as you can see. He's used up a little bit more, but that would have been because he's locked up at some stage. And now Rosberg failing to make that pass stick. He's now under a little bit of a threat from Nico Hülkenberg, whose tyres are completely rubbed out, almost. And how's the weather forecast looking? It's looking sunshine, cloudy, and more sunshine. Not a raindrop in sight, which is unfortunate, because that's another thing we want to take advantage of. We need more variables in this race. Excuse me. But at the moment, Hamilton, now he's got Carlos Sainz in his crosshairs. He's looking at him. He's looking at both cars. He goes around the outside, makes it stick, and he easily pushes away. Carlos Sainz is going to try and come under the brakes. He's got track position. Yeah, he's able to hold him. So Hamilton drops back into 10th position. Still in the points. Remember, it's the first 10 cars that are in the points. And we'll try and get up as far in the field as we possibly can. It's only lap 7. Still plenty more laps to go. Still plenty more controversy. Possibly a mechanical failure. Possibly a crash in this race. You never know. Anything can happen. Here we go. Rosberg still trying to get by. Still trying to get by Massa, who's just defending like a champion at the moment and just won't let him through. Here we go. Rosberg now lunges. Doesn't make it stick. And again, he loses a lot of time by doing it. And as you can see at the front, Sebastian Vettel does another 2:03. And that's with a conservative driving style because he's got free air. So does Kimi Räikkönen. So the Ferrari boys might be untouchable at this moment. But I'm actually going to queue into Lewis's headset, and I'm going to put him back into neutral mode, see if he can make anything of it, and tell him it is hammer time. We want to see him make a pass here, and he does it straight away. Look at that. He goes straight through color signs, closes the door, an aggressive driving style, and right now he's looking at Gutierrez as his next target. How is Rosberg going? Rosberg is not being able to fare up the same as Hamilton at the moment. He's going to have to pit very shortly as well. So, how are we going for tyres? We might want to sit back into conserve mode, get those tyres sucking up a bit of life as much as they possibly can. Look at that. Actually want to go back into neutral mode. He goes around the outside of two cars. He made this pass stick on Gutierrez and also Alonso. Alonso now having to pit. He's down to 17% on tyre tread, now 16%. He's going to pit, and that's going to be... that's just from track position. So Rosberg's going to be able to jump up the order a little bit here. He's now got a bit of a train of cars in front of him. Master Science Gutierrez is starting to back up a little bit, while our number one driver, Lewis Hamilton, is in 7th position and making good progress as we speak. He is still doing a good job. What was that last time? He did a 2:04 last time. Kvyat and Vettel did a 2:01. So Vettel doing a 2:01, which would be the fast lap of this race, except Bottas did a 2:01.6 as well. Nico Rosberg, how is he? He's finally gotten past Massa, so he's done a good job getting up the field. Like, that's a huge thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the fact that Rosberg's still not letting the fight get away from him. He's down to just 31% of tyre tread. And I'm considering pitting him now, but I might just wait one more lap. I might just give him one lap to see if he can do anything with it and hold out an extra 5 or 6% besides we're pitting. We want to make sure the strategy comes towards us, not away from us. So Hamilton now, what is his time going to be now that he's had a little bit of clean air? He does a 2:02. 2:02.2, so he's the fastest car on the track. Considering Vettel did a 2:02.7, we did a 2:02.5. The gap to our next opponent is Perez, and as you can see, we don't even have to look at the gap because he is right in front of us. And Rosberg is still struggling to get through the field, isn't he? He is making a mockery of it. So we're going to go to a neutral setup, get him into the pits. We want to get him... What do we want to do? We've only got one set of soft tyres left. Other than that, we've got hard tyres. It's going to be lap 10 when we come in, so we're going to have 19 laps to go. We can't put him on the hard tyre. People are going to be like, that is crazy. You can go 19 to 21 laps for the estimated tyre. However, if we put him on the hard tyre, he locks up. All of a sudden, he's going to have 80% tread left, and that's going to be 17, 16 laps, and that's not going to be long enough. So we're going to have to go to a medium and possibly do... We're going to have to do another stop. We're going to do 2-stop strategy, so we're going to go to the medium tyres. As for the pit crew, we want to make it a fast stop. There's a 25% chance of them making a mistake, but we're going to do that. As for our parts, is there anything there that looks... You know, that needs to be fixed? Look, the gearbox possibly could, but we don't want to lose 15.4 seconds by, fixing the gearbox. So we're going to send him in. Got him to go neutral, so he uses up those tyres a little bit more. Hopefully he gets another spot. Hamilton doing a good job in 6th, so he's gotten past Perez. He's gotten past Perez as we're watching Rosberg. So now he's got Verstappen in his sights, and we can see Verstappen just up the road. He's still got 50% tyre tread left, so that's actually very good use in life that he's got out of those tyres, despite fighting and weaving through this field. It's been crazy so far. The other thing I want to look at is how is his fuel consumption going? He currently has 19.3 laps. Let's see what happens when he passes the line. Can we burn off a little bit here and put a little bit of pressure on Verstappen to possibly make a mistake? Will anyone else go on the pits in the next lap or two in front of us? I think Raikkonen might. The next lap he's down to 20%, so he's absolutely frizzling those tyres out. Rosberg not able to gain a spot. He's going to go in. Let's watch his stop. What's he saying? He's saying his tyre temps are up, so we're going to have to go back down because the track grip, it has gone up, and so has the weather forecast. Because the track is a lot more grippier, the cars are going around faster, therefore the tyre temps has gone up. So we're going to go back to a backup mode on those tyres. Now they're peaking. They're at 47% of tread, but they're peaking in terms of tyre temps, so the wear is going to be absolutely useful. So that was good feedback from him. Let's watch Nico Rosberg's pit stop right now. See if he gets past by... who just pitted with us? I think it was... Ricardo's pitting with us. And he's going to come out in front of us because that was a bad stop. That was a bad stop. Rosberg, they've made a mistake and it's added an additional 6 seconds, and he's actually lost another stop. So he's come out behind Felipe Nasser, and hopefully he's able to fight him straight off the bat and make something of it. But no, he doesn't. He goes side by side and he gets plugged, so that's actually going to hurt his strategy quite significantly. The fact that he was beyond Ricciardo, now Ricciardo's back by him, has made our job even more harder than what it needed to be. So at the moment, Hamilton now posting a 201.24 on that last lap. Track grip is continually climbing with each lap. Doesn't look like there's going to be any rain. 18 laps to go. He's got plenty of tyre tread left, 44%. Could we possibly push him to a one-stop strategy? I think we could. I think we could here. You know, that might be the way to go. As for Rosberg, he's got his work cut out for him. He's all the way back in 15, but he's losing important track position here, considering that he's now getting bogged by a much slower Felipe Nasser. We're going to put him into a push strategy, see if he can make anything of it. Hamilton, he's got 18 laps to go. He has a bit of a fill bed to go. Pit stops for Gutierrez, Grosjean. How did they go? Did they come out in front of... Yes, they did. So Gutierrez does come, in fact, in front of our little pack. And we want to watch his tyre tread as well. We have excess tyre tread for Rosberg because he's going to have to make an additional stop. So we're happy to push him. We're happy to push him for as long as he possibly can go without injuring the tyres. How did that last lap go? A 2:03. So we're still the fastest car out on the track. We're being hunted now down by Raikkonen, who has stopped. He's done a one-stop strategy by looks of it because he has gone down to the harder tyres. But he is behind us. We are plucking him a little bit here. We are plucking him back in this order. We don't want to get too distracted by the fact that he's going to be pushing us. He's got his engine mode into excess, as well as his driving ability. And there you go. In the pits goes, who was that? That was Kvyat. So in the pits goes the pole position man, Kvyat, who started from first. And now we're up into second, although we still have to pit while Raikkonen might not. But if we stick out there for a little bit longer, that might force Raikkonen to put more pressure on us, which might use up his tyres and then fight. This is not a battle we really want to get involved in. We're going to have to stick with it. Nico Rosberg just did his fastest lap of the race, so there you go. He's up into 11th spot, so he's made it stick. He's around Magnussen. So he's gotten past Gutierrez, he's gotten past Nasser, he's now past Magnussen all in that last lap. So he's actually made pretty good progress. He needs to get by Daniel Ricciardo. His tyres are starting to eat the dust a little bit, so we're going to wheel him back. Hamilton now in third position, fighting hard behind Raikkonen. Where is Vettel? Vettel is first position. Look how far ahead he is. He's already pitted. And in the time that he's pitted, he's come out in first. So I think this might be Vettel's race to lose. We are currently hoping to stick on the end of this little Ferrari train, pit, and hopefully come out ahead of Verstappen and not have to pit again. Nico Rosberg now does his personal best for Sector 2. He is on an absolute fly. His tyres are getting used up excessively, but you've got to remember, he has to pit one more time. So I'm happy for him to use them a bit more now, rather than wait and have excess at the end of the race. Hamilton, how did he go on that last lap? He did a 2:04.98. So this is gonna push him to definitely doing a one-stop strategy. That's the goal here. He should be able to go at least one more time around. Rosberg, how is he going? He's into 10th position. He's hunting down Ricciardo. What is the gap to Ricciardo? The gap to Ricciardo is 0.84. We can even see the gap to Ricciardo. He's closed that gap down just through his own driving ability. Ricciardo's gone back into a more conservative mode with his driving style. He's actually being pulled up again by Felipe Nasser, who everyone seems to be plugged up at the moment by. Old age, huh? Hit you like a thing. He's on 23% tyre tread on hard, so I'd imagine he has to come in the next stop. It surprises me because, oh, there you go. Rosberg makes a pass down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo, makes it stick as well, shuts the door. Can he get by? Can he get by Felipe Massa? Because I expect Massa to pit now that he's down to 20%, but if he doesn't, he's just going to be another. Ooh, we've got tyre tread going back up. We need to push a little bit here. Get those tyre treads back up. Rosberg's now dropped back into 10th. He's just got a little bit of a battle on his hands that he can't seem to work around. And because of being pushed back, he's now been passed by Daniel Ricciardo. So, yeah, a battle that we don't want to be involved too much, but it looks like we're going to have, it's played our hand out a little bit. But isn't that surprisingly, Felipe Nasser has to pit on lap 14 when he's got hard tyres. He must have locked up at some point at the race, and that's what happens when you're in these high battles. Ricciardo makes the pass stick, goes on through. Rosberg now chasing him down. We want Rosberg to get that position back as fast as we can. Should we pit Lewis now? We're almost at the halfway mark. I don't want to do it just yet. I want to give it one more lap. He has free air around him. He's doing 2:03, so he's not really losing time. He's losing time to first and second, which isn't an issue. Because if those guys are that far ahead of us, it's just ridiculous. We're sticking up the backside of Raikkonen somehow, and we're at 27%, so I'll get him to do one more lap and then pitting. How's it going? He just set his personal best time with 26% shine trek. A 2-minute flat, a 2-minute .009. 2 minutes, 0 seconds, .9. So he's doing a good job. He's actually putting a lot of pressure on Kimi Raikkonen, and he wants to make the pass stick. That is unbelievable driving right there. His tyre wear is getting a little bit bad. I'm going to have to pit him very shortly. As for Rosberg, because he's now got free air, he seems to have gotten by Massa, who had to pit anyway. Let's get him to burn it up a little bit more. Use those tyres. Seems to have gotten back. What do we want to come out in? We're going to come out and that should be able to tell us. If we click pit, as you can see down the middle of the page at the bottom, we will be estimated position after pit stop, 4th position. We want to go to medium set of tyres again because we're going to have 13 laps to go. We're going to get a bonus from using medium tyres. I think that will be the way to go. As for parts, you know, do I want to risk it? He's got a weak front wing. It's going to take 4.4 seconds to repair. And he also has a very damaged gearbox at the moment. That's not unreliable just yet. But given that we're halfway through the race and the rear wing has already used up 31%, I feel like we have to fix the front wing. It's going to take 4.4 seconds. Yes, we will come out in 6, but at least we know we're not going to be in trouble with our component. I would fix the gearbox, but that's 16.5 seconds. And that's just too slow. That's just... I'm not going to push it that much. I'm going to do a fast pit stop. I trust the Mercedes crew to be able to handle their big paychecks and get us in the pits and out the pits as fast as possible. How are you going for components? Your components are fine, except your gearbox at the moment. So we're going to go back to medium for you to push out a little bit more. 3rd position for Hamilton. Who knows? The Ferraris might blow up. You just never know in this championship. In this championship race, I should say, in Abu Dhabi. It is a really hot day after all, and it's not looking like it's going to rain. Let's watch his stop. Where is he going to come out? He goes in the pits. Good tyres. Great front wing repair. He is out in 4.4 seconds. That is huge. That is very fast. So they can change the front wing while they do the tyres. They don't have to do one thing at once. They can do one part and tyres at the same time. So that's got him out into 6th position, and that's actually really good for us. He's immediately going to go on the fight, and he's going to get underneath Bottas. He doesn't get underneath him just yet, but he's attempting to get underneath him. Rosberg's now in 7th position, so he's gotten past. He's now officially gotten past Kvyat and Ricciardo, so he's up into a good spot, but he still has to pit. And his tyres are absolutely being eaten alive, and I want him to push that gap out a little bit more. We're going to have to do one more stop for him anyway. We might put him on softs next time if we have a spare set of softs. But we'll see what happens as he comes around. And it's his time to really start to push and make a bit of an indent on the lead that everyone has. He has to pit where Hamilton doesn't. So he doesn't have track position at the moment. Hamilton does. And look at that. Raikkonen now going down in a completely conservative mode on the engine, as has Vettel almost. But right now we are under attack. We don't get the spot that we want. It's not a very good track for overtaking in some parts of the track. We can't get past Bottas. Perez now pits. That's going to shift him back down. Rosberg gets into 6th position because of that pit stop. And this is playing into our hands a little bit. We would have loved if we can get a safety car. Wow. If we can get a safety car, a crash, anything right now, that would be our saving grace, because we need to have this lead fall back to us if we want to contend for first. But we're putting Bottas under extreme pressure but not able to make anything of it, and I don't want to push his car any faster than what it is because of the way the gearbox is. I might actually put it in overtake mode. When he comes back onto the main straight, I'm going to put curves on. I'm going to put that engine into overtake mode, see if he can blast past Bottas and get by him once and for all, because it's just clogging him time. It's just losing him time. Look at that. Rosberg is catching him. Rosberg, it's now a 5-second gap. Let's load up Lewis now into an overtake. He's in the slipstream. Just blast past him if you can. Get into that main straight. Slip him down on the outside. He makes it happen. Please let it stick. Don't let him come back under brakes. Good job. Now go back into medium mode. Cool, that was actually really good. That was a really good move. So there we go. We're now into 4th position after pitting. And now Rosberg is fighting his way through. We can keep pushing on those tyres, in fact. Let's just go back down to conserve mode, get the temperatures down. They don't need to be that high. Same for Hamilton. His tyres now can go back into conservative mode. They're at 86%. Plenty of tyre tread left. Max Verstappen is now our next target. He is only 1.8 seconds up the road, but as you can see, that gap is decreasing. 1.6, 1.5, 1.4, 1.3. We're on the hunt for our very own Netherlands wonder kid. Hamilton wants to make it happen. He has the car, he has the experience, but can he make it stick? We might do the same thing where we put him into overtake mode, starting from here to see if he can make it stick. He's in that slipstream, you can see him, he's right behind him, he's lining him up, he's setting him up for an overtake here. Will he go down the inside or will he do again around the outside? No, he can't go. Yes, he goes down the outside of Max Verstappen. Give him overtake mode. Let him sit in there for a little bit. There you go. Boom. That's a very good pass. And he's able to just drive away from him and make it look easy. My boy. 3rd position. So we've come from last to the grid onto the podium. Now, if only we can get a safety car. We are 7 seconds behind Kimi Räikkönen, who we're hunting down. We are 28 seconds behind Sebastian Vettel, who's just limping his way around the track without much of an issue. And we're having to eat up our car. Every time that we put our car in overtake mode, it grinds the gears up. It pushes, a lot more emphasis on the engine that eats the engine alive at this track. This track loves a high engine and a very, on the gearbox as well. So it eats those car components away as we do this. So we're going to have to keep watching Rosberg because we're going to need to pit him very shortly. I don't want to get him out of that conserve strategy just yet. We might actually get him back into neutral, get that little bit of a boost before he has to pit in the next lap or so. Lewis Hamilton, 78%, still has plenty of laps. I might get him to go to high mode for his engine. What was his time then? He did a 2.200.9, almost 3 seconds faster than Kimi Räikkönen. So he's eating up that gap. He's eating it up quite well. I'm just worried about the reliability of that gearbox. If we put it into the high engine mode, I'm happy to do it for a little bit, close up that gap a little bit, then put it down to conserve. He has plenty of fuel left as the conservative, not the conservative mode, but as we've got plenty of fuel economy. They got good fuel economy in these cars to be able to push harder and harder without running out of fuel at the end. So Rosberg, I'm going to get you to pit, not this lap, but one after, so I'm going to get you back into medium. You're lining up now Verstappen, which is great. Lap 28 starts. How's the track temperature? It's not going to rain anytime soon, which is a huge shame, and I can't expect it to rain in Abu Dhabi. It's like one of the hottest places in the world, right? Humid, does get a little bit of rainfall, and that gap, what's the gap down to now? It's down to... We're, again, 2.2 seconds faster. It's down at 2.7 seconds. We are catching him. Hamilton now just says, can we look at the gearbox? It looks a little bit crickety. It's down at 29%. We can't pit. It's like a 16 second stop if we pit for a gearbox, and that would be ridiculous. And we just can't risk it for the biscuit at the moment. So we actually want to risk it for the biscuit by driving on a bad gearbox this whole time. Rosberg, how are you going at the moment, champ? You're now fighting underneath. Let's get you to go into overtake mode. I want you just to pass Verstappen. If he's going to create that much of an issue for you, let's just try to get by him. No, you're not in a good position for that now. How's Hamilton going? He's still eating away Räikkönen. That gap is decreasing, but the gap to first place with Vettel. Vettel is back into overtake mode for his engine. He knows what's up. He knows he's in trouble. He can actually decide to pit and still come out ahead of us. As for Hamilton, how are your parts? Gearbox still grinding away a little bit. We're now inkling away, a 1 second less on Räikkönen. How do we want to, what do we want to do for Rosberg? Do we want to pit him? I think if we pit him now, what's going to happen? He can go to soft tyres for sure. Yeah, let's do that. Park condition. We want to fix the suspension purely because it will stack. It will stack. But at the same time we're doing the tyres, they can fix the suspension. If we added to that, if we did the gearbox as well, we're going to add an extra 18 seconds. By adding that much, we're going to come out in 8th position. Pit strategy, I'm going to do fast again. I want these Mercedes guys to pick up their steam a little bit and hopefully get Hamilton or Rosberg in and out of the pits as fast as possible. So we're going to be watching Rosberg stop, also watching Hamilton finally put a little bit of pressure under Raikkonen. So here's the stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 tyres are on, and it is a great stop for repairing. Rosberg drops back to 8th, but he has a fresh car for suspension-wise and the tyres, and he has a little bit of track open air in front of him. So let's get him to push. We want to get him to push as fast as he possibly can at the start of the race. And here we go. Hamilton is now fighting Raikkonen. This is going to be big if we can get this pass made. We're up into second. Unfortunately, Vettel now 30 seconds ahead of everyone. That is huge. That is untouchable. All right, Lewis, it is hammer time, buddy. Let's see if you can bridge that gap a little bit. Well, I shouldn't say bridge that gap a little bit more. You're on his tail. Let's see if you can speed it up a little bit. And do we have enough for the end of this race? Yes, we do. We've got enough fuel, as long as we go back into conserve mode after we pass him right here. So line him up. He's got him lined up. He's got him in his cross seat. You can see him. He's like the Red Maverick, the Red Baron, just signing him up. Will he be able to go deep? No. Again, he fights. Raikkonen fights well, unless he lets him in the inside. Let's go back into overtake mode. Let him go, let him go, let him get through. No, he fights back. So this is actually a really good battle between these two professional, prior champion drivers. They both have a championship under their belt. Nico Rosberg just sets his personal best lap. Let's get him back to go into neutral mode. He's used 10% of his tyres already. He's on the back of Perez. So can Rosberg get past Perez? He should be able to do it. Yes, he goes underneath him. He makes it stick. Thank you very much. On the radio, Rosberg says, "Eat my dust, Sergio." Huh? Thanks for playing. Come again. This is the big battle right now. Raikkonen at the moment is on 38% tyre tread on his hard compounds. He is pushing right now. I don't think he's going to be able to have enough to get to the end of this race. He knows he's under a lot of pressure from us. He doesn't want to lose the spot. But that's what it's all about. This is about us putting enough pressure on him that he makes a mistake, that it forces car reliability down. Hamilton now not close enough to make the pass stick. Vettel, 32 seconds ahead. He did a 1:59. Rosberg has just complained about his gearbox, 17% reliability. We can't do anything for him, unfortunately. If we pit him, he loses way too many spots. This is about getting him as high as possible, and that's not going to happen if we pit him. So right now, it's all on Hamilton to try to get to that second spot. I don't know, I hope Vettel has an issue, but at the moment, Bottas is catching us. So we've caught Raikkonen, who was 7 seconds ahead, and now Bottas has caught us because of this little frenzy battle that we've got going here between these two champion drivers. I don't know what to do. We can try to stick it down his inside again, but then go back into conserve mode once he makes it stick. Rosberg now complaining, now having an alert that his gearbox is a little bit shot. How's Vettel going? He has no issues just so yet. He has a little bit of a beard going though. Raikkonen is excessively pushing that car, now putting it back into conserve mode. It looks like he's just funneling that conserve, and now we're under threat. We're under threat from Bottas. We can't let Bottas get biased. If he gets biased, it's going to be a lot of trouble for us. How's that weather going? It's going to be fine. Sunshine all the way through. Rosberg now churning into those tyres. He's saying, look, I'm churning them in. He's threatening Daniel Ricciardo, who also has a mechanical issue. He goes through the doesn't go through, he goes around the outside. Daniel makes it stick. Now we're under threat from Bottas. Not exactly what we were hoping here. Car condition, we're at 22% for our gearbox. We're up to 3rd and 6th so far. So this is what you typically expect when you've got the best cars on the grid. Now maybe had we made this is a medium race distance, had we made it a long race distance like 30, 40 laps, perhaps we could have had enough time to eat down that 35-second gap that's now protruding. But yeah, we're being backed up into Bottas now. But the thing is, Raikkonen's tyres are down to 28%. I think it's time for Lewis to go into neutral mode and see if he can put a little bit more pressure on. Because we have 3 laps to go after we cross this line to make something of it. 3 laps to go. We've got the energy capacity. I'm going to wait for the perfect opportunity, hit that overtake mode, see if it works as if it's like, you know, a Kurz moment. Rosberg, we will monitor you. I can't put you into overtake mode just yet because your reliability is shot. If you put it into overtake mode, it's going to use up the car just as much. Hamilton, now pulling away from Bottas, closing in on Raikkonen. Thank you to those tyres being pushed up a little bit more. And I'm going to go into overtake mode a little bit here. I want to see if he can make it stick in one of the more technical parts of the track. He's now saying the gear shifts are a bit off. They're a little bit dodgy. They're not well. They're not grinding well. The performance is going backwards because they're in a little bit of trouble. They're down to 13%. So we're going to go back into medium mode for our gearbox. Couldn't make the pass stick, unfortunately. And this has really banked us back into a very aggressive driver in Bottas. So we can start to push with the tyres now. We can actually go into attack mode because, well, we've got excess tyres now. Same with Rosberg. He's not close enough to make a pass yet on Verstappen. I just can't believe how difficult it's been just to get by Kimi. Kimi is driving the wheels off it. He's down to 22%. We've got Lewis Hamilton now fighting Kimi Raikkonen for that spot, for that second spot. Vettel driven away like a champion. We are putting so much pressure on Raikkonen, it is not even funny. I can just imagine once we get by Raikkonen, we'll be able to pull away even further. Those gearboxes are looking a little bit dodgy. 13%, 2% for Rosberg. That's not good at all. We're going to go back into low mode for Rosberg. He can't push anymore. If he pushes, it's going to blow. There's no telling when it's going to pop. So right now, we're in trouble with our reliability. It's the final lap. Vettel's just passed the line now. And again, Raikkonen has been able to stop Hamilton from challenging for that second spot. We're now getting down into the nitty-gritty, so I'm going to put it into high mode and just hope for the best here and hope he doesn't blow that gearbox at 13%. I want him to chop it down. This is our last chance. We're going to risk it for the biscuit. We want second. We want second here. Hamilton has to finish second here. That's my little phrase here. So everything is into overtake mode. We've got a driving style, attack, engine mode, overtake. We're going to put also Rosberg into overtake. There we go. He makes the pass stick. Yes, come on, says Hamilton as he goes by the line. And can we get a bit of a gap enough then to go back in a more conservative approach? What is Raikkonen's response going to be? He's actually falling away. He's put it more into a more aggressive mode there, the same as us. And he's just following us. He wants this just as bad as we do at the moment. I don't think our good friend Hamilton is going to give it to him, though, as easy as he thinks. Rosberg now goes into 5th position. He gets by Verstappen, who is now struggling away on those tyres. Here we go, Hamilton. Let's finish you up on this race. You've got plenty of fuel to get across the line. Hopefully, Raikkonen doesn't get close enough and nothing happens. We don't want any gearbox being blown up. Here we go. This is the race that we've come from 20th in the grid to 2nd for Hamilton. And we've also come from 19th to 5th position for Rosberg. We're unfortunate not to have any safety cars, not to have any rain weathers or any big emergencies where it was going to put any of our main contenders like Vettel into trouble. Vettel won that race easily. The last lap he did a 209. Our last lap with Hamilton a 158. A 158. Let's just put this in fast forward mode and see who else gets it. So we're going to round off our top 10. It's Vettel, Hamilton, Raikkonen, Bottas, Rosberg, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Perez, Sainz, Kvyat, who started on pole, Massa, Gutierrez, Alonso, Hulkenberg, Nasser, Grosjean, Button, Ericsson, Magnussen, and Palmer. So there you go, guys. That was our first race in the Formula 1 mod, and I loved it. I loved the fact that I was playing with the actual F1 drivers, their cars. And let's have a look at our strategy. So, of the cars that finished in the highest on a two-stop strategy, Nico Rosberg. The closest car that did a two-stopper was Alonso in 13th position. So, obviously, we did something right there. Hamilton doing the one-stop, going all the way up into second, not able to threaten Vettel at the time. Live timings. Who was the fastest lap? Wow, Vettel did a 155 at some point in the race. That must have been, I don't know when that was. That would have been really weird. But how are we looking? Oh, look at that. Vettel's going to take the 25 points for the one round we did. Event results, the gap 28 seconds. So we absolutely blitzed away, and we kind of expected that. Do we have a position tracker to show how we went at the start of the race? Surely we can go a little bit earlier. Yeah, where are we? There we go. We jumped how many spots in the first lap? About 14, 15. Rosberg did 1 or 2. Anyway, guys, this has been a Spot the Aussie video. If you enjoyed that, be sure to subscribe, because I'm still doing my daily Motorsport Manager career season videos for you guys, because I love this game. It is an amazing game by Play Motorsport, and it is amazing mod by theracedepartment.com, sorry. So if you liked the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more. I am giving this game away. I am giving a Motorsport Manager game away, an actual code for you to enter into Steam and activate the game for one of my lucky subscribers. The competition will be announced next week. I thought, why not take the opportunity now while we're doing a bit of an expedition race during our mid-season. So yeah, check it out, guys, and thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comment section below if you want to see more of these just expedition races or challenges. Like, you want me to be Daniel Ricciardo starting 10th, and he has to beat Max Verstappen, who starts 1st, for example, at, I don't know, Hockenheim. Anyway, guys, again, Spot the Aussie here. Thanks so much, and I will check out you guys very shortly.